Well, I chose this lesson really because that's where we were in our unit. We were dealing with geometry. Polygons have high interest. The kids love being able to draw shapes, make anything, angles, lines, segments. The interest is there without me even having to create anything. So I chose this lesson because it's in line with what we were doing. I chose it because of the high interest, and I chose it because I wrote this really cool song to go with it that I like. So that's why. Okay, the learning outcomes for this lesson are that the students need to be able to identify the different geometrical shapes. They need to know the characteristics of each. They need to know how to determine whether perhaps say a polygon is regular or irregular. They need to be able to compare and contrast the different shapes. They need to be able to identify a polygon or a shape from basic descriptions. So they have to be able to go forward and backwards with these skills. So I open up the lesson with, it's kind of like KWL, but it's kind of a fun way to do it, where the students will find a partner. They'll be moving around the room, finding people to see what they remember from previous lessons, and perhaps they may know what we're doing for today's lesson. It's another template. It's a template that I created, and it basically has different shapes, either the polygon itself, a picture of it, or a description of it, and they have to kind of identify what it is by naming it, and they have to ask for help from their fellow students, and they simply will write their name at the bottom. So at that point, the papers are turned into me. I can very quickly see, okay, most of these kids kind of know, they have an idea. I can get a little idea of what their background is in it, how much information. During the lesson, we'll present it. We'll do a little chant that will help them remember some of the things, and then they have a component. They will watch some more informative little videos, little clips. Perhaps the longest is like 2.5 minutes on that goes into more detail about what these actual polygons are, what they look like in the real world, how it looks in, like, say, in a job, and then technical terms as well, as far as like what is the angle measures of these and why, and how can you tell, and how do you use these tools that have been applied to you to create your understanding. And at that point, they would be completing what we call a 3-column note, which is basically definition. I provided the term. They will then type their definition, and they will find a picture to support it, or draw a picture because they know how to use the tools on the Chromebook. All of this is instantaneous, shown. I can see it instantly because they've had to share the document with me. Again, this is something that was done before because it's a document that's being built. So they've done several of the terms already, but the ones that will be focused in the lesson, which is all on triangles on Friday, I will be able to see instantly whether or not they understand what was happening. Also, they have an independent portion where they will have to do approximately 10 problems or so that I did not create, that come from our Envisions textbook, after which they will do something we call a quick check, which is 3 questions that will, let me know just like that. Did you get it or didn't you get it? And if you did not, then I can take necessary measures to scaffold to help you get there. Or I can provide you with an enrichment activity because it was easy for you. So those are the points that I would assess. And then weeks down the line, we'll have some type of summative assessment, which would be on the entire polygon unit. So in the beginning of the year, we came up with all these classroom rules. The kids literally listed probably 100, but I required them to do that. And then we kind of narrowed them all down to respect, the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. And that is our one founding class expectation. Now, as far as the expectation during class, we have something I call Give Me 5. Give Me 5 is simply, they don't give me 5, they do 5 things. Eyes on the teachers, bodies are still, bottoms are in a chair, mouths are closed, and ears are listening. So that's kind of a check. No matter what they're doing, wherever they're at, they kind of freeze, do exactly those 5 things. So that's another way to manage that behavior. I also have a board of directors in which I have a CEO, which is voted by their peers, who is kind of like a we call them a PT or a peer teacher, which the students, because they chose this person, have ultimate respect and they listen and respond. So there's a student that's actually checking for a behavior and monitoring behavior. Then our number one thing is 100% effort. That's always my motto in the class. And the kids know that means you're going to give me 100% effort. You're going to try your best no matter what, which kind of requires you to be focused, paying attention, and staying on task. Okay, what is a polygon? What are the characteristics of? What do they look like? What are the parts? And how can you compare and contrast the different polygons and parts of, whether it be line, segment, ray, angles that make up the polygon? How can you use those characteristics to define and determine what the polygon is? Okay, from the beginning, they get to move around. For fourth grade, that's a key. The students, if they can move, it kind of catches them right then and there, especially for some of my students that are kind of restless or get bored. So initially, I open it up with an engaging activity that they can move around. After they do a little bit of study with the Chromebooks. My students love online curriculum. I found that this year, that was a true asset in this classroom. Being able to provide having that technological resource for them to learn was the key. It was like opening Pandora's box. I had no idea how much they really want to be able to learn this way and how much they want to control their learning. And so by me providing an online portion, that's number two. Then I made a little song. I've done it throughout the year. I've like the rounding shuffle. It sounds like the Cupid shuffle. It's just about estimating. This time it will be about triangles. We did one about polygons. We did one for measurement. So these are things that this is just something I enjoy doing and they really respond well to. So it's completely engaging from the beginning to the end, and it's because it's tailored for what they have shown that they like and how they enjoy learning in the classroom. Like I said, the students already have a high interest because they look at it like I'm drawing. They're just drawing pictures and creating shapes. They also know I connect a lot of my math to music or raps or chants. So they're excited because they know that this is one of those times where Mr. Brown has created this cool little tool for them to remember. So it actually means something to them because they took part in the creation of it. They won't realize that until Friday, but they actually are the ones that created this chant based on their own learning. So it's directly connected to them. They came up with the movements and everything. Like I said, they don't know, but that's what they did.